A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. A bird in the bush is worth half a bird in the hand. Why do you have half a bird in your hand? Welcome back, Desert Bluffs. You'll have to pardon me if I step away from the mic at any point during the broadcast today. I assigned some interns to map the layout of the station, and it hasn't been going that great. I sent them out sometime last week and haven't heard from any of them since. So far, we've also lost 3 interns, 2 members of the community we brought in to join the search party, and a member of the neighborhood watch. We have found some lengths of threads scattered around the station, as if they were trying to keep track of their path that way, but they've been cut in several locations. Also, I haven't been able to enlist Paul's help in the search, which does make things a little more difficult. He is great at finding stuff, but the other day I walked in on him setting a fire in one of the break rooms. I mean, he was very repentant and apologetic and kept trying to explain how it wasn't a burn the station down type of fire. I mean, not in so many words, of course, because Paul doesn't talk. But I do need to draw the line somewhere, and I feel like I've been lax in terms of discipline lately. A lot of the interns are just running totally wild. I saw a couple of them huddled in a corner the other day with this very somber look on their faces. Can you imagine? Not even a single smile on either of them. Oh, I was so frustrated. So I've decided to write up some rules and start enforcing them. They're not really done yet, more of a work in progress thing. Hopefully it will help with some of the morale issues we've been having around here. I'm sure it will. Anyway, the community announcements. Many citizens have been reporting sightings of mirages taking the form of some of the residents that have left Desert Bluffs in the recent past. It doesn't seem to matter whether they left of their own accord or were run out of town, perhaps due to their involvement in that underground kickboxing league that was busted not too long ago. The interim government would like to remind all residents that these mirages are not real. If they attempt to talk to you, give you anything, impart advice, or, smiling God forbid, convince you to leave as well, it's really best to just ignore them. I know it's not in our nature here in Desert Bluffs to ignore people, but remember, they're not people. It's an illusion. Any mirage sighting should be reported to the neighborhood watch immediately upon visual contact. To contact the watch for this purpose, simply close your eyes, take a deep breath, and call to mind the last thing that you said to your family. Additionally, the neighborhood watch would like to remind all of you that you cannot go Super Saiyan. They also added, we're not telling you not to, you're free to try of course, but if you try as we're trying to watch you, you look rather silly and it's embarrassing. For you. Please have some self-respect. Earlier this week, the Scavengers Guild came upon a strange grouping of statues in the desert. The statues appear to be of human figures, although the finer details have been worn away by sand and the passage of time. There was once a plaque affixed to each statue as well, but the text has been worn off similarly. These statues have ignited a fierce debate between the Desert Bluffs Historical Society and representatives from the interim government. The Historical Society claims that the presence of these statues is proof of our ancestors. Proof that some group of people lived here before here was Desert Bluffs. This theory goes against everything that we have ever been taught about our town, from kindergarten history lessons all the way up to collegiate discourse. It has always been the accepted truth that before Desert Bluffs, there was nothing. The interim government spokesperson who is handling this incident released the following statement this morning by hollering it while perched atop one of the strange statues. As we all know, especially those involved in the Historical Society, we here in Desert Bluffs were created from drops of sunlight that fell as tears from the eyes of a smiling god. This whole proof of ancestors thing is utter nonsense, and anyone with even the most basic understanding of history would realize this. He appeared to be about to continue when suddenly a band of 8th graders leapt out from behind an otherwise nondescript sand dune, howling madly and brandishing what appeared to be some sort of weaponry. The spokesperson, the Historical Society, and all bystanders promptly scattered. At the time of this broadcast, the 8th graders, presumably the same 8th graders that were sent off on their field trip into the sand wastes not long ago, appear to have laid claim to the strange statues and are defending them with thrown projectiles and knives that appear to be crafted from coyote bones. The Society for Sufficient Sunlight is, as you are all acutely aware of at this point, still attempting to build a pyramid. For those who have somehow forgotten, the purpose of this pyramid structure is to allow an individual or small group to get close enough to the sun, to catch its attention, and to politely ask it to stop setting every day. Although Elohim Biologic has been manufacturing batteries so that we can actually store the energy we are able to collect from the sun, power outages are still unacceptably common. Their most recent attempt at getting the pyramid built seemed to have been the most successful yet. The Society hired a company named Stevens Salvage Structures to build the pyramid. Steven, of Stevens Salvage Structures, works entirely in recycled and reclaimed materials, which the Society has declared to be, fine, we guess just build the darn thing. And build the darn thing he did. The pyramid was built efficiently and beautifully, a shining beacon of progress over our town. Unfortunately, Stephen got a little overexcited. The pyramid looked a little bit too new, and it resulted in the pyramid, which was originally constructed of reclaimed materials, to be recycled. The entire structure was dismantled and sorted into various recycling bins, and then taken away by large trucks. So, despite the promising start to this particular endeavor, construction progress remains at 0%. This has been Community Announcements. Now, there seems to be a bit of confusion arising from one of the community announcements. Paul has indicated to me that we have gotten several telegrams that range from confused to enraged, so let me clarify. It is still completely prohibited for any resident of Desert Bluffs to be in the possession of a weapon of any sort. The group of 8th graders who are currently building fortifications around the strange statues where they are making their stand are breaking the law, and seem to be lacking severely in common sense. At this point, I do think it is important to note that my nephew Carson is a member of Desert Bluff Junior High School's incoming 8th grade class, so it is quite likely that he is among the group of prepubescent students yelling in the desert. Carson is what I would call an exceptional child. Not only does he consistently receive high marks on all of his schoolwork, he has fought tooth and nail to rise to the top of the hierarchy of 8th graders and defends his position with all of the efficiency and bloodlust of a man twice his age. Plus, he is excellent at baseball. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I will be really disappointed if Carson got mixed up in this nasty bit of business. Disappointed at him for making a poor decision, but disappointed in myself for failing to protect him and prepare him for this. I suppose we'll just have to wait for more news to come out of the situation in the desert, so let's move on to the community calendar. Monday is tax assessment day. Those of you who own property, as much as any of us can own anything, will have your home reassessed by Roscoe Parsley or Parsley Real Estate and Construction to determine the current value of your home. If your home is valued at more than the town estimates it to be worth, your home will be corrected until it matches the value written in the official ledger at Town Hall. If it is valued at less than the town's estimate, a small fine may be issued. On Tuesday, we will be offering free scenic airboat tours of the town all day long. Since the boats are made of air, passengers will have to run alongside the driver as he makes airboat sound effects with his mouth. Riders are advised to bring along a rain poncho because the spittle tends to build up as the tour goes on. This Wednesday, Reality is going to be undergoing some scheduled maintenance. Please be advised that gravity fluctuations, ghost sounds, and spontaneous instantaneous teleportation are all expected during the maintenance period. Taking advantage of this event in order to do things that would not normally be permissible or possible, is strictly prohibited. On Thursday, every resident over the age of 45 will be going out to Old Tire. That is, the old tire on a rope that is under the Joshua tree. They will stand around and stare at the old tire and reminisce about better days. Friday, everything will become bogged down. Literally, the sudden appearance of a bog will make getting anywhere next to impossible and the stench will be overwhelming. You'll want to stay at home with a damp towel over your eyes, slowly moaning until it finally drains away into the pit. You know, the pit. The pit that, if you stare into it long enough, it accuses you of being a stalker and then has a judge sign a restraining order against you, and it's totally unreasonable for it to have done that because you weren't stalking it, you just wanted to see how it was doing and you were just trying to be nice, and the pit doesn't need to go and get a restraining order of all things. It's like it isn't even taking your feelings into account. Yeah, that's the one! Foggy conditions are expected to dissipate in time for Monday and the start of a new work week. This Saturday, you will be reminded that there are other fish in the sea. You will be reminded of this fact repeatedly, even when it is not relevant. Especially when it is not relevant. The fact that everyone keeps saying there are other fish in the sea is just a coincidence, however, and you should pay no special attention to it. On Sunday, all residents are advised to retreat to their personal underground shelters for the entirety of the day. Those who do not have an underground shelter may attempt to take shelter in a bathroom, provided it has no windows. We will tell you when it is safe to come out again. This has been the community calendar. I have an update on the situation out near the strange statues in the desert. The Neighborhood Watch has asked all residents to leave the area, which they have, leaving only the watchmen and the children on the scene. I am told that the Watch is making preparations to move in and engage the 8th grade class of Desert Bluffs Junior High School, as they have refused to cooperate with the demands of the Watch to surrender from their position and allow their contraband weaponry to be confiscated. I have also been informed that my nephew Carson is among the students involved in this altercation. In fact, Carson appears to be leading the group, shouting threats from the top of one of the strange statues. I find this disheartening. I love my nephew, but I cannot support him in these actions. Carson, if you're listening to this, perhaps if one of the Watch brought a portable radio with them, or if the speakers from the town are loud enough for you to hear, it would be best for you and for the town if you all just admit defeat and surrender peacefully. I know that's not in your nature. I know that you don't want to do it, and being the age that you are, you probably aren't going to do it unless you're forced to, but at least consider giving up your position and just coming home. I'm sure your mother is worried sick. While we wait for the situation over at the strange statues to sort itself out, one way or another, here is a word from our sponsor. You can't live forever. We know it isn't pleasant to think about, but it's very important that you consider what sort of funeral service you would like to have when your time comes. Roxy's Funeral Alternatives has recently updated their catalog of exotic burials, available for residents of Desert Bluffs. Why get buried in the same old when you can be launched via catapult and snatched from the air by birds of prey? For those who are looking to plan a burial service for someone who did not specify the type of burial that they would like to receive, the specialists at Roxy's Funeral Alternatives will help you to select the most appropriate service to celebrate the life that was once held within that frail, empty body. From the more basic services, such as funeral pyres and air burials, to the more exotic and unusual, such as having a colony of beetles strip the flesh from the bones of the deceased. Roxy has something for everyone, so come on down and remember, it's your funeral. Another update on the situation out by the strange statues and my nephew Carson. It seems as if... Oh, it looks like I'm getting a phone call. This looks really important. While I take this, I'll just turn on the climate report. Hello, this is Terry. Oh, Angela! I haven't heard from you in such a long time. To what do I owe the pleasure? Excuse me? You know I can't do that, Ange. Yes, I know he's your son, but he's also my nephew, and I promised... Yes, he is my nephew. I can call him my godson if you'd prefer, but... He was practically my brother. Brother in every sense but the literal sharing parents one. And he asked me to look after Carson. Well, he clearly does need looking after if you've been paying any attention to what's been going on today. Or have you been caught up in something more important? I don't know what you're talking about. Well, I'm headed down there too, so I guess I'll see you there. Fine. Bye.
If I get tongue-tied and I can't find no words for you to make us alright, so much for requited love. So many times I backed down, branded you a fool. If I could rewind, I'd open all the deepest wounds. Somehow, I'm getting under your skin. I'm gonna tangle the strings of your heart. Somehow, when the lights go out, I'll be close to where you are. So many times I backed down, branded you a fool. If I could rewind, I'd open all the deepest wounds. Somehow, I'm getting under your skin. I'm gonna tangle the strings of your heart. Somehow, when the lights go out, I'll be close to where you I walked over broken glass for you a million times, and still you never do the things a good girl should do for a heart as big as anything. Never done you wrong, and never told you a lie, but I swear somehow I'm getting under your skin. I'm gonna tangle the strings of your heart. Somehow, when the lights go out, I'll be close to where you are.
Testing. Yes! I got it to work again. Awesome. If anyone can hear me, I've been dealing with some really weird time anomalies. This past Thursday, repeated itself. Everyone here seemed to think it was totally normal, and stuff that I'd done on Thursday, the first Thursday that is, didn't seem to have been done in the first place. But...
Hello? Is someone broadcasting on my channel? I really don't appreciate this sort of hijack attempt.
Oh my god.
Wait. Paul, is that you broadcasting? Are you talking? I'm coming over there. It was you! I can see that red recording light right there. What are you broadcasting? How are you broadcasting? How are you talking?
Hello, Terry.
Why didn't you tell me you could talk? Oh, wait, what were you saying?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You were talking about, time anomalies. You said Thursday had repeated itself. Thursday didn't repeat itself, Paul.
Yes, it did! It did, because I remember it. And none of you people remember anything.
You people? What do you mean by that? Paul, what do you mean by that?
I mean everyone here. Everyone in Desert Bluffs. None of you notice anything. Even if it's totally surreal and strange. I just want to go home. Please, just let me leave.
Well, where is home for you then? If you don't call Desert Bluffs your home, where is it?
Night Vale. I'm from Night Vale. And I've been here for a while.
That is splendid! Oh, this is beautiful and shining. This timing is perfect.
Timing? What do you mean?
I've just been so stumped with this letter I got a little while back. I actually opened it on air. You were there for that, remember? Kevin sent me a letter, and it doesn't match up with, what's real. It references things that haven't happened or things that hadn't yet happened when the letter was delivered to me. But it referenced them in the past tense.
Why do you think that I would be able to help with that?
Well, I have a theory, and you're not from here, so it wouldn't be affecting you.
Theory?
Yes. I need you to do something for me. More than just one something actually, but just one something right this second.
I don't know. I don't really...
Listen, you may not like it, you may not even want it, but you are going to help me. It'll be good for you. It'll be good for everyone. Don't you want to do a good thing? Let's shut off this silly broadcast and go chat about it in intern break room B. You owe me this much, Paul. Hiding your voice and your truth from me for so long. It does make a lot of other things make more sense, but it was still very unkind of you. Alright, let's go. Oh, wait, I didn't do my final thought. If it looks like a duck, and it quacks like a duck, you clearly don't remember what a duck actually is. I'll talk to you soon, Desert Bluffs. Keep smiling.
Welcome Back, Desert Bluffs is a fan-made podcast based upon characters and events from Welcome to Night Vale, which is the intellectual property of Night Vale Presents. The voice of Terry was Ren Connolly. The voice of Paul was Cody Wolfe. This episode's climate report was tongue-tied by Paper Navy. Information about the climate report and other sounds used in this episode can be found in the description below. You can find Welcome Back, Desert Bluffs on YouTube, iTunes, and now on Stitcher. Do you like our podcast? Do you dislike our podcast but love writing emails? Do you have no strong feelings about our podcast one way or another but want to contact another human just to reassure yourself you exist? Send us an email at welcomebackdesertbluffs@gmail.com.